Welcome to Unit 5. In this lecture video, we'll be introducing the idea of the street routing problem. To help us understand the concept of street routing, we have 5 examples that we're going to focus on for this unit. And let's start by introducing all 5. First, example 1 is called the security guard problem. The security guard's assignment is to sweep on foot the entire neighborhood. His starting point is the corner of Elm and J Streets, which is marked with an S right here. It's across from the school, and this is where he will park his car. At the end of his patrol, he of course needs to come back to his car to pick up his car to go home. Can you picture this scenario? If you were this security guard, do you want to walk every street 3 times? Or do you want to walk the shortest distance possible but still sweep the entire neighborhood? That's exactly the street routing problem. He wants to figure out which way he should walk, where he should turn, so that he can cover the entire neighborhood with as few steps as possible. It's also important to note that in this scenario, he wants to start and end at the same location. Let's look at our second scenario. The second one is called the mail carrier problem. This is the same neighborhood as the security guard is assigned to, but the mail carrier has a different task. They not only have to walk the entire neighborhood, but if there's a street that has houses on both sides, they need to walk both sides of the street. They need to walk that street twice. The mail carrier will start and end at the post office, which is here. So similar to the security guard, the mail carrier wants to start and end at the same location, but they will need to traverse some of the streets more than once. Let's go on to our third scenario. Our third scenario is the UPS driver problem. When you picture a UPS truck in your neighborhood, do they need to drive every street twice to deliver packages on both sides of the street? They certainly don't in my neighborhood. They just get out of the truck on whatever side they need to and go to whatever side of the street they need to. Also, what's unique about this UPS driver versus the mail carrier is that the UPS driver will come into the neighborhood in one location and leave at a second location. They will come from a different neighborhood and go on to the next neighborhood. Another unique feature of the UPS driver problem is that unlike the security guard, the UPS truck does not need to traverse every street. Instead, they only need to go to the streets where packages need to be delivered. Let's go on to our fourth scenario. Our fourth scenario is actually a famous one. Königsberg is a city on the Prager River that contains 2 islands and is joined by 7 bridges. Can you see the 7 bridges? They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The tradition in this town was to take a Sunday walk, and the goal was to try to cross each of the 7 bridges exactly 1 time. So in this street routing problem, the question is that even possible? And we'll be able to answer this question by the end of Unit 5. Let's move on to our last scenario. Problem 5 is called the Bridges of Madison County. Here we have the Madison River that runs right through Madison County, and there's 4 islands formed. Notice that the 4 islands have been labeled A, B, C, and D to help us discuss each of them separately. There's also 11 bridges that join these islands to both banks of the river. We have the left side of the river here and the right side of the river here. And our 11 bridges are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. For our purposes, we're going to suppose that a photographer is hired to photograph each bridge and must cross each bridge at least once with as few recrosses as possible. They don't want to retrace their steps more than they need to. The photographer can start on either bank of the river and end on either bank of the river. Our job will be to figure out the best route for the photographer to be able to do this. And we will be able to come up with the best case scenario once we have all of the tools that we learned in Unit 5. That will conclude this lesson on street routing. Hopefully after seeing these 5 different scenarios, you have an idea of what a street routing problem is.